I'm so thankful. Actually, since last year, it's my wish that the choir will sing some responses. Yeah, that was my wish last year. It's only now that happens. So I believe that God will do something more to the church. And I believe that this kind of singing will help us, will elevate our souls to come up and worship with God. I would like to thank Dennis' family for that wonderful song. I want to cry because Linda is crying in front. Okay. I want to, during the past month, January, I was given a chance to promote personal ministries. But most of the time, I have limited time. I feel that somebody is trying to control me and I cannot say everything I want to say about personal ministry. So now, this is my time. I don't want to say any signals. This is my privilege to say all the things that I want. I want to promote on personal ministry. Oh, I can see again Sister Linda signing for time. But anyway, I entitled it, Do It Yourself. I think this is very popular company. Sorry, I'm extending my apology. I'm not promoting this company. Do It Yourself. I believe you met this company. They are selling tools, like construction tools. And I entitled it, Do It Yourself Ministries. I don't know if you try to look at yourself. I think that is a second person pronoun. Is that correct? Try to read that word, do it yourself, and then connect personal ministries. Are they related to each other? Do it yourself. Personal ministries. It's a little bit far, right? But let us try to internalize a little bit and let's make that yourself a possessive one. Do it myself. And then let's try to correct the grammar. I do it myself. Would that be okay? When we say, I do it myself. Okay, look at that man. He's holding at least some kind of tools. Why they call it do-it-yourself tools? Do you need a manual to use a hammer? No, you can use it by yourself. It's common sense. About a brush, a back wrench, roller brush, screwdriver. You don't need any manual or any method to use those tools. It says there, do it yourself is a method of building, modifying, or repairing something without the aid of experts or professionals. So let's try to correlate them together. I will do it myself, and then the personal ministry. Will it be okay, Brother Gani? Brother Gani, just sit down there. I will do it for you. It's not personal anymore to Brother Gani, right? Personal to me, but not to Brother Gani. So you have to do it by yourself. So you can say, I do it by myself. So it's not necessary that we're going to do it as a group, but we should do it by ourselves. Now, as we continue, let's bow down our heads for a word of prayer. Father in heaven, this morning, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and that we believe that this time will be encouraged to do something in the ministry. We know, Father, that there are a lot of opportunities that we can do, not in a group, but we can do it personally. So on a very special way, Father, on this year, 2014, please help us to do something to glorify your name. Father, be with us today, for I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, this is the personal ministries objective. It says here, personal ministries continue to exist, to teach, and to proclaim the gospel in response to the command of Jesus. This is in the context of Revelation 14 and then Matthew 28, that we were commissioned by Jesus to go, to teach, and baptize people. The second one is PM continues to communicate the good news of salvation, the objective of winning, maintaining, and preparing people to meet Jesus. I changed the color of winning, maintaining, and preparing because I want to focus on those three words, and I believe that we can learn something from this one. Okay, this is a cycle. If you notice, the first one that was mentioned was winning, maintaining, and preparing. And I believe that winning and evangelism are, in some instances, they are related to each other. And then maintaining, I don't know if you are convinced that it's a part of nurturing. We have to nurture each other. We have to nurture those new members, newly baptized, who came from the winning or came from the evangelism program. And the last one is preparing. And I believe that is a training. Usually, if you look at our records from that number one, winning, I think we are expert on that. If you can see this baptismal statistics of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we are baptizing millions of souls. But if you look at the churches, you cannot see a big changes. You cannot see a sign of growth. Because our weakness is the second one. I attended a lot of crusades I conducted by myself. And most likely what's happening is that a big crusade can baptize 100 in just one public crusade. After 3 months, there were only 30 souls left. And after 3 years, I don't know, maybe there are 2 or 3 that was left among those 100 people who were baptized. So this is our witness nurturing program. And I believe that if we will see where we fall down, we can do something. And because we cannot train somebody if those who were baptized from the evangelism program were missing from the church. One time I was assigned in a church somewhere in Palias Valley, Bacara, Ilocos Norte, Philippines. I went there and I saw the very long records of membership. And I have tried to visit those people. I asked them when was the last time they attended the church. And then most of them told me that they don't even know where is the church. They did not even attend at least once or twice. So I think there might be a problem on that first stage, evangelism. Maybe those who work there were pressured. No salaries, no baptism, no salaries. No baptism. You will be questioned. A lot of questions to be answered. What did you do? Where were you at that month? So if we have a smooth process on this, we have at least 5 baptisms, but they are properly nurtured, and then they are properly trained, the cycle will begin again. And I believe that the church membership will be increasing. So let us try to see where we are and what we should do for the cycle to continue. In number 1, I have heard a quotation that says, when the church stops evangelizing, the church starts to die. I don't know if you believe on that. If the church starts stop evangelizing, the church starts dying. So it means that is a cycle that should go on and on. Okay, let us try to have a closer look. The first one was evangelism in Matthew 28 verse 19 to 20. It says there in verse 19, "Go therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them," verse 20, "teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you." And in Matthew 25 verse 35 and 36, look at this. "I was hungered and you gave me food." Do you believe that they are related to our program? Giving manna. Now I will go back to do it yourself. Do you need a manual or a command from the pastor on how to go and buy bread from 7-Eleven and give to the poor? You don't need. You can just go to 7-Eleven. As you walk by going home, just give those bread. You don't need any manual. Do it yourself. That's what the message will be. "I was a stranger and you took me in." It is a hospitality. The wife of Dr. Bonrat said that her job in Ikamay International School is hospitality officer. And I'm very glad, I'm very happy, because I believe that most of us here were blessed by big apartments that we can accommodate people, especially those who are new here in Thailand. We should be hospitable, and we don't need a manual to do it. It is a do-it-yourself. Next, "I was naked and you clothed me," giving relief goods. We are doing that. We don't need to do more. If we can plan it personally, and then we can share it to our group. I think that was the intention of the small group, because remember, if everyone will report here in front, we don't have time. But if we will be divided into small groups, and every group you can report it there, then in 1 hour or in 30 minutes, sharing of experiences, reporting can be finished in 30 to 1 hour. That's one reason why we are being grouped into a small group, so that everything that we experience personally, we can share it in that small group. And it's worth imitating. Then we can encourage one another to do it also. Maintaining. This is nurturing. Those newly baptized from evangelism, they need a doctrinal review. That is what Brother Albert, the group of Pastor and Brother Albert, lesson review, reading Bible plan. You know, one of the shadows here, I saw her folder and I saw a Bible reading plan. I saw there, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then the particular verses were printed over there. And there are some questions to be answered to prove that you read your Bible reading plan. It was divided into quarters, so it's a little bit thick book. And I asked her, "Oh, you have a good program in your church?" "Yeah, but we downloaded this from the internet." So there is a program. We can make a Bible reading plan. And then morning watch, we can choose. If we don't have available morning watch books from PPH, then we can choose a book, something from all the classic books. Actually, it's almost 2 years that we are using the book written by Dr. Fernandez, the morning watch cleanings. I like that book, morning watch books, because they are short, and it's very, the setting is Filipino. The culture on those experiences are in Filipinos. So I believe that it can challenge your family if you have book reading. Church fellowship will encourage those who are newly baptized to be nurtured by attending the church, members' visitation, spiritual guardianship. I think this is very important that we should have, that every member who will be baptized in the church, they should have a spiritual guardian for at least two. The one that we are doing typically in the Philippines, when we have child dedication, they have ninongs and ninangs. We can do that spiritually for at least two. Okay, this sister, you are newly baptized in this church. We assign brother so-and-so and brother Alex to be your spiritual guardian. If you have some questions, just ask them. And if they cannot answer, the church will answer it for you. If you have a problem, they can help you. But we don't have in the Philippines. So just after baptism, the members who were baptized starts losing also from the membership, and they don't even care to go back to the church. And one thing more, people, especially those who are newly baptized, will come for the first time. That church should be prepared to welcome them. Because I remember one experience in the Kupan church. There was, I think, a high-ranking official from the police was baptized. He was convinced that the Seventh-day Adventist church is the true church. But one time, the first time when he attended the church, it was during the Sabbath school and it was by class. So when he entered the class, the church, it was very, very noisy because the teachers are competing each other. And remember, imagine the church, 12 small groups with 12 teachers speaking louder and louder to compete to each other, because if you speak softly, your member cannot hear and they are hearing the teacher on the other side. So you speak louder. And then that policeman said, I will never go back to this church again. Because his expectation was not met. He thought that the Adventist church is very solemn, very calm, very peaceful, and the people are welcoming every members. I attended also one church, a Baptist church. There was usher at the gate. I think they have an icon. He called the usher in front of the church and then the pastor. But I didn't see it. So when I just entered the door of the church formed in a circle, and then they start singing, clapping their hands. Welcome to the family of God. And then the pastor stood in front and said, thank you, Mr. Antonio Dumayan, for coming. I believe that this is your first time to come in our church because you came from Quirino, Ilocosur. He knows my identity. Maybe the usher out there called the pastor, and then I was shocked because they know me personally. And then after 3 days, they try the usher. I went there again because that was a requirement for church history. And then they said they are trying to contact me, but they cannot because there is no way to contact. And then health reformation. I'm glad that there are members here who are vegetarians, imposed to be a vegetarian, and I believe that they are in a higher level of spirituality that we should be dreaming also. I'm not a vegetarian myself, and I wish to be one of those. We can do reformation inside the church, because Psalm says that your life is a better sermon than the things that you heard from other people. If you see someone who is living faithfully, then it has a greater impact in your life because they are living within what they intend to say. Preparing is training for duties, maybe inside a church or Bible study, presentation, sermon design. We have done this, I think, 2 years ago. But we should do it in a regular basis so that all of us will be nurtured, all of us will be prepared, and all of us will be ready to go and follow the command of Jesus to teach and proclaim the gospel. Okay, I took a picture a while ago of this reporting that we have. Anyway, there's no name over there. It was just figures. Sorry for this group, but my intention is to show you. Sorry. Here on this first part, it says here, members present, daily lesson study, visitors, birthday thanks. I think this is a part of the nurturing plan. And then you can see here the evangelism program. Visits. Did you visit somebody? These are the things that we should do in the small group. Anyone who visited someone, especially non-Adventist, for a special purpose. I have one visit. I have two visits. It can be recorded. Look at our reports. It's blank because we are not doing it spiritually. We are not telling the truth. We are not documenting what we are doing. Literature, Bible studies, BOP, clothing given, cash and food given. Those are what they want us to do. And I think this report came, this format of reporting came from the General Conference. And this is what they want us to do, personally. Down here is observing morning watch, following Bible year, spiritual books. I think this is the nurturing one. For you to grow spiritually, you should have a book to read that will inspire you. You should be doing the Bible year, the Bible reading plan. And then the other one is morning watch. Sometimes we don't have time to read in the morning, but at least my wife is insistent that we should have morning watch. We have worship during evening. So it is a challenge to each one of us, my dear friends. We cannot wait for somebody to tell us, go. We can do it by ourselves. So why not start this month of February? And I believe that next December or on December, during our anniversary time, it is worthwhile to give some awards, certifications, because of the things that you have done in the ministry. And I believe that God also prepares something for you because you have done something in the ministry. Here, it says here, nurturing. Then ye both off concerning the former conversation, the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, in that ye put the new man, which after God is created in the righteousness and the true holiness. You can say that, read letters, the old man in the new man. Sometimes there are a challenge to each one of us. Choose one. God doesn't require you to do all the 5 that you can read in Matthew 25 verse 35 to 36. Just choose one and plan to do at least 3 or 4 in a year. And I believe that what God will commend you for that ministry that you have done. Look in Matthew 25, verse 40 and 41. It says there that the sheep will go to the right hand of God. But to those, in verse 41, God says to those who will go to the left, depart from me, because I don't know you. You know, I remember the story. It is a legendary story because I cannot prove it. I cannot document it. But I heard one time, there was a master who has at least 50 sheep. And then he's trying to find someone to take care of his sheep. And then finally he find one. And then the master said to this man, can you be my pastor? I have 50 sheep to take care of. And then if you can multiply them, then we can share in a 50-50 basis. If you can add at least 2 sheep, one for you, one for me. And then the master went away. The pastor take care of the sheep. And then after a long time, the master came back for an account, for an audit. And then he came to the pastor and asked the pastor, Pastor, how much did we gain from the sheep? The pastor did not respond. The master asked him again, Pastor, I'm asking you, I have given you 50 sheep. How much is our increase? Do we have something to share to each other? Then the pastor cried, you give me 50 sheep. I lose 3. I recognize them. They are not sheep. They are goats. They are not working together. They are fighting each other. So we don't have something to share, Master. It's something that we can learn, right? So if we act like goats, then we cannot do anything. But if we act like sheep, they said that sheep are nearsighted. So if they can see the other sheep, they can just follow. So they will go together. Because once one will go away, far from his side, then that sheep is already lost. So it is a challenge to each one of us that wherever we are on that cycle, we can start it all over again. We can work together, hand in hand. We can work personally. Just choose one and tell your care group leader, Brother Oli, I want to do giving mana. I don't have enough money. I cannot do it in a monthly basis, so I just do it in a quarterly basis. So therefore, so if some of the members will say, I don't have money, but I can visit. Just tell me if they are absent in the church, then I will go and visit. That your leader will know what you are doing. So if we cannot talk, if we cannot share our ideas, if we cannot share what we are thinking, then we cannot measure what we are doing in the group. But if we tell our leaders, this is what I want to do, then we can apply the SMART. We can monitor you. Oh, brother, you did one giving mana for 6 months. You lose one. What will you do? Can I help you? The leader can come in. We can do together. I can go with you. Just tell me when, where. Then we can walk together giving bread. So please, in your group, talk together as a family. Share your burdens. Share your blessings in your group. I believe that it will grow. You can do something that you did not experience in the past if you will give time. That's why during the family time in the Sabbath school, sometimes I don't know what to do. But if we make or give slots for a family time, that we can deal with those information reports, then I believe that all of us will be encouraged to do something also for the Lord. So this is the challenge to each one of us. I can do it by myself. You can do it by yourself. So let's do together, and that God will be happy after this year, 2014. God bless us all.